can game with you, play when we want to. I can game with you, the gamer and the noob. I can play with you, game when we want to. I can play with you, the gamer and the noob.
Welcome to another episode of The Gamer and the Noob. My name's Sam. I'm the gamer.
And I'm Steph. I'm the noob.
And we are back with episode 7 of this wonderful podcast where we talk about all the games we've been playing from the perspective of the gamer and the noob.
Yeah.
So what have you been playing?
I was just playing Wizards Unite. It's a game. It's an app on my phone where I get to pretend like I'm part of the Harry Potter world.
Cool.
Yeah. I just rescued a baby Niffler.
Which is your favorite?
I love Nifflers. They're my spirit animal.
They weren't in the regular Harry Potter movies, right? They were just in the...
They were mentioned in the books.
Oh, were they?
Yes.
Did you love them then?
Yes.
Really? Before they came to the big screen?
What's not to love? Yes, I loved them. Yeah, they talk about them in the books whenever they're mentioning care of magical creatures. They have to use the Niffler to find items hidden.
Okay.
So, like, the teacher at the time would go hide metallic, valuable objects, and they would use a Niffler in order to go find them, and whoever collected the most, like, got a class prize or whatever.
If you had to, like, take one Harry Potter animal or beast or whatever, would it be a Niffler?
Ooh, like to own or to experience?
Like to own in this world.
Nifflers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd probably make you rich, right?
That's the idea. Yeah.
And
but, I mean, also, like, they'll steal what you currently have. Like, I have a lot of earrings and stuff that I would lose because they would take them.
But what if you, like, if they stole a bunch of money and then you got rich, you could build a house, kind of like, you know, at the end of X-Men when they had Magneto, like, imprisoned in, like, in prison of plastic or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just build a house out of plastic. What's it going to do then?
I don't know.
Anyways.
Probably run away in order to go find valuable things. Yeah.
So anyways.
But thestrals are really cool too.
What's a thestral?
Do you really not know? Or are you asking for the podcast? You know, right?
A thestral?
Yes. Oh, good grief. Who did I marry? So thestrals are, they're like winged horses almost.
Oh, but you can't see unless you've seen Death?
Correct.
Ah, I know what you're talking about. The weaker Luna Lovejoy.
Carriages. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyways, about the game?
Currently, there's an event going on right now called Poachers and Nifflers. And so you're trying to rescue Nifflers and catch the poachers.
Okay. So
that's what I was doing.
Just now.
Yeah, I was catching poachers, and then there was a Niffler that I could rescue.
So the whole idea behind Wizard Unite is basically Pokemon Go by Harry Potter,
yes.
Where you're supposed to be out around in the public, basically going to like certain spots or just in the wild, and you're like finding all these things. But we're still under COVID restrictions. So, but I remember before when you tried to play, you couldn't play at home. You had to go out and about. So what changed?
They introduced a new aspect of the game called the Night Bus. And so wherever you are, it doesn't matter if you're in your house and there's nothing around, you can click the Night Bus button and it will transport you to a fortress where you can earn rewards and battle foes and things like that. And I don't have anybody that's also downloaded the app on their phone. So, that was weird.
My phone was mad you were talking smack about me.
Well, I'll tell it more. Anyway, I don't have anybody to play with. Nobody else has the app.
So what she's referring to is the fact that my phone is so old that it can't actually play the game.
It's not old. You walk into a store and you ask for the cheapest smartphone they have.
I'm saying my phone is it's old and cheap. It doesn't have the firmware or like software capabilities to play the game, or like I need a certain amount of gigs of data. But yeah, I don't want to spend $1,000 on the phone. It's ridiculous. So next time I go to the store,
$20 a month. Anyway, okay, so I hit the Night Bus button. And it transports me to a fortress, and suddenly there are people there who want to play with me in order to defeat
Real
these foes.
people.
Actual people sitting in their homes, wherever they are. I don't know. But like all of a sudden we're on the same team, and if we defeat all the foes, then we get all the rewards. It's amazing.
Do you ever think that those people are home in their underwear?
I don't care what they're in as long as we defeat the foes.
So do you like this better, not having to leave the house to play?
It's pretty convenient.
Like, do you wish after this is all said and done, like, that's just the way the game played? Or do you like the idea that you actually have to get out and be active?
I think it would be really cool if they would keep it around for times that I can't get out.
Yeah.
There are times when I can't leave my house for one reason or another.
It's a free app. A free game or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you can buy like little buffs or whatever. But would you, like, say once this is all over and the base game was the kind where you had to walk around, would you pay like a one-time fee of $4.99 to unlock an ability to play at home like this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just curious how they're gonna. I think there's a lot of things going on. Like, so like the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, right?
Yes, I learned a lot about him today.
Did you?
Yeah.
So he said that, after this is all said and done, the whole like alcohol to go thing from restaurants and stuff may be a permanent like fixture in the economy, which I'm like, cool,
Yeah.
Like why not? I was actually kind of me and a coworker today. He was like immediately like, that's a terrible idea because there's going to be more people drinking and driving.
The point of delivery is so they'll stay at
And
home.
I'm like, well, on the contrary, like I'm like, hey, we can go get La Fiesta and pick it up, and you can have a purple margarita, which if you don't know about the purple margarita, you drink one of them, you're done. You shouldn't be driving, but every night people are driving away from there having drank. All those people are like technically probably inebriated and shouldn't be driving. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if you can take that home and drink it, like that's less people on the road drinking. I think it actually have the opposite effect. Because if like you don't have to get dolled up, you don't have to get all dressed up, I'll just get it to go. We can bring it home and drink it.
I am in for that.
You're not going to be opening your margarita and drinking it on the way home. If that's
I know some people are irresponsible, but
Right.
not everybody is.
I feel like the people that can't wait to get home to drink, they're going to the gas station and buying the $5 beer.
They're doing it anyway.
Or the $4 bottle of vodka from like the liquor store.
Ew.
Yeah, no, right? Yeah. And they're doing that anyways because like if you're having to do that, I mean, I feel like you're in a little more deep than wanting a margarita from a restaurant, you know what I'm saying? But anyways,
What have you been playing?
we got a little bit on a tangent there.
We got off topic.
So I've been playing quite a few things. I'll tell you what I haven't really been playing. That's Animal Crossing. And it's for no real reason. Life's a little bit busy right now. And that's a game that I like to dedicate time to. So I think that's a game where like maybe once or twice a week I sit down and put a chunk of time into it. But I've really been playing Resident Evil 2. Not the new Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 from 1998. It's a game you can download on the PlayStation Vita. It was a PlayStation 1 game. So you familiar with the PlayStation 1?
Nope.
Okay, so you're familiar with the PlayStation brand, though, right? Like,
yes.
By name or whatever. So this right back here, that is a PlayStation Classic. That's actually a re-released miniature version of the PlayStation 1. The PlayStation 1 came out in like 1995 in North America. It brought popularized CD-ROM gaming. So with CD-ROM gaming, you were able to do things like have full motion video and CD quality audio. It brought like a certain level of presentation that you couldn't get with cartridges. But at the same time, it had its downfalls because there were long load times. You had to wait for like certain scenes to load. But I really do think that it kind of like pushed forward the popularity of video games, like as a cinematographically. Anyways, they made stuff. The presentation was like a lot cooler because you could actually see real people like acting stuff out, or CG, which you didn't really have on cartridges and stuff. But Resident Evil was one of those games that it was scary. It was a survival horror game the original Resident Evil, you walked into a mansion and you had like 6 slots of inventory, and you had all these puzzles that you had to figure out while you're like surviving zombies. And they're moving very slowly, but so are you. But Resident Evil 2 came out in 1998. I remember playing it so vividly. Like it really was a groundbreaking game at the time. It had so it was a continuation of the first Resident Evil, and you were in the city. It like expanded it so much, the story, and you had to like go into a police station and basically get to the bottom of what's going on with this whole virus and this evil corporation, yada yada yada. But the way that the game worked was you had a male and female main character, and like you could play the game as the male and then go back, start the game over as the female, which was occurring concurrently to the game you just played with the male. And the decisions that you made in the first time when you played with Leon actually affected the way you played through it again. You could pick up items in one, and then you play it again with her, and those items are gone, or vice versa.
You said Leon? Is that the male character's name?
Yeah, Leon and
Okay.
Claire. Yeah, Leon Kennedy. The voice actor actually just recently died.
Oh, really?
I think from coronavirus, honestly.
That's
But I'm not
sad.
sure. But yeah, it was sad. It was a big chunk of my life. I played through that game so much. I loved it. And they recently remade it. A year ago, they remade it for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. People said it was such a good remake. So I own it. It's one of the games that I had on my Hunting Them Games video on YouTube. And before I play it, I want to go back and play the original again. So that's what I've been playing on that PlayStation Vita. Occasionally I'll just pick it up and play it for a little bit at a time. So
then after you get done with that, you're going to go play the remake?
yeah.
Cool.
So then I'll have a better frame of reference of like what they got right, and what they changed, because it has been. I mean, it's been 10 years since I played it.
I used to do that with books to movies.
Oh, really?
I would reread the book before I went and saw the movie, but then after like the 5th time that I was depressed afterward, I was like,
Because the movie's always worse.
I'm going to try to forget as much of the book as I can before I go see the movie.
That's probably the way to do it.
Yeah.
Except for, I feel Hunger Games nailed it.
Hunger Games was the closest,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, that you can get.
Yeah, those were amazing movies.
So, yeah, Resident Evil 2. Been playing that. And I guess that's it. I've just been piddling around with some other games. Like, I hooked up my Wii U. So I was like going through like Wii Sports Resort and just kind of piddling around.
Played some Frisbee on there the other day.
Yeah, that's fun. I want to play some more of that. I really want to go and kind of explore the Wii U library that I have. I have a lot of games on it, and the Wii. And I really enjoyed the Wii, like the pointer controls and motion controls and stuff like that. So it's just something you don't get still right now. So that's about it. It was Resident Evil 2. But me and you played some games.
We did.
Do you remember that we played 3 games on the SNES Classic Mini, the Super Nintendo Classic? Do you remember the 3 games we played?
There was Final Fantasy.
Which Final Fantasy?
I don't know. There was an airplane game and something else that's not coming to mind at the moment.
An airplane game?
An airplane game, yeah.
Yeah. And something else is not... Really? It's not coming to mind?
Not at the moment.
I thought that would be the one that stuck out to you. It's the only one you enjoyed, really.
Which one was it?
Yoshi.
Yoshi! Yeah.
Super Mario
Well, I didn't
World
walk away
2.
from that gaming experience like super happy, and so like Yoshi was the happy part. So maybe, you know how they say like sad things and like depressing things stick out in your mind the most? It's probably why I remember those first 2.
So Final Fantasy 3, that's what we played. Also known as Final Fantasy 6. So Final Fantasy 3 is actually Final Fantasy 6 if you're going by the Japanese numbered ones. It's a whole convoluted thing. Every Final Fantasy is a game that's separate from each other, but they all...
That's confusing.
It is. So you can play Final Fantasy 13, never having played a Final Fantasy before, and you don't have to worry about playing any of the prior ones, which is nice.
Seems like they're being lazy with names.
But...
Right?
Well, so...
Just agree.
No, I don't agree. And because I love Final Fantasy. It's a cherished franchise in my eyes, and they carry a lot of the same similarities with like enemies and job types and spell names and characters and character names. So there's a lot of things that they draw from like lore, but like there could be a character name, let's say Sid. Sid is a character in many of the games, but it's always a different character. They're like, this is gonna be Sid this time. I know you're looking at me like that's ridiculous, but it's like a callback to the lore. So anyway, your face.
It sounds lazy again.
It's not. It's amazing. So, what'd you think about Final Fantasy 3?
I did not enjoy it.
Not at all. You hated it.
I didn't like it at all.
I feel
it was
like
clunky. The graphics were ridiculous.
What was clunky about it? We played 10 minutes of it, and you were like, "I am done. I'm not going to play any more games."
No, that's not true. Well, it was more than 10 minutes. It felt like an eternity.
No, I think it was 10 minutes and it felt like an hour to you.
It did feel like an hour.
We played the intro.
Twice?
Well. Well, yeah, you skipped through the scene. But anyways.
I skipped through credits, so we had to
It's the opening credits, but I feel like...
start the whole thing over again.
You don't have a whole lot of like...
And I said, but wait, what am I really missing? You said it's just credits, and you were like, I don't know, but I bet there's something.
I knew what it was. They were walking towards the city.
Okay.
You got to be with them on their journey.
Well,
Evidently, you
disagreed.
disagreed.
That journey twice.
Yeah. It was like a 30-second journey.
It just felt like, when I say clunky, I'm really referring to like graphics and like the setup and stuff. I guess for me, not knowing much about games and then having just played Animal Crossing, which is very 3D and modern and whatever, like going back to that Final Fantasy feels clunky. I can only go up, down, left, or right. And it's like, if I run into a wall, then the game doesn't help me out in any way. I'm just still running into a wall. Whereas like Animal Crossing, if I run into a tree, then it's going to like maneuver me around the tree, even if I'm an idiot.
I got you.
You know?
So you say you can move up, down, left, and right. What other directions can you move in Animal Crossing?
All the directions.
I see. Okay. So you say you can't like move diagonally in 3D.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
It was also really hard for me to tell like what the characters looked like because of sprites. Did I use that correctly?
Yeah.
So I didn't like it, and I didn't like the fighting style of it.
The turn-based combat.
I did not like that.
We quit that really, really, really early. Like we didn't even get like.
Okay, well after the snail thing, I was frustrated.
Well, I don't even remember the snail thing.
I don't know. There was some snail adversary. At the beginning, it's like, don't hit the shell.
And it says, like, whatever you do, don't hit the shell. So
I didn't. I was attacking the thing, and then the thing disappeared.
Yeah.
What else is there?
The face.
And literally, I'm just sitting there waiting for something to happen. Like, oh, I defeated the enemy. The shell is all that's left. I didn't hit it. And then, like, we're all just standing there staring at each other. Nothing's happening, so I'm like, well, here's another thing where I'm just sitting and staring at a screen. I must have to do something.
Yeah.
So then I attacked the shell, which you told me not to, and then you're looking at me like, why would you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know anything because I'm new at this.
Yeah.
But
instead of like persevering, pushing through, and seeing if there's something you liked in the game, you decided, nope, not for me.
There's nothing
on to
I'm
the
gonna
next.
like in that.
You'd be surprised.
I won't be.
When you see me playing that game, you walk into the room, I'm playing that game, and you're like, ooh, I want to play. I'm just kidding. That will never happen. So the next game we played, do you remember the name of it? You called it the airplane game?
That's all I know.
Star Fox.
Okay.
Star Fox 64 is one of my favorite games ever in the world, and I'm going to show you the difference one day. One day I'm going to have you play Star Fox in the Super Nintendo, and then I'm going to have you play Star Fox on the Nintendo 64, and it's only one generation. We're talking 6 years apart, and you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I can actually tell what this is, because in Star Fox 64 or Star Fox on the Super Nintendo, it literally looks like it's like 3 triangles that you're piloting around. Yeah. But what was your experience with that?
It was better. I'm just really bad.
You like that better than Final Fantasy?
Oh, heck yeah.
Really?
Oh, it was better.
Why?
For sure.
Like, what did you like about it?
I understood the purpose of it. I mean, the graphics as of, like today's standards are not great, but I still can see what's going on and understand like the point and the mission here, It's like going through different obstacles. I get that, don't hit that. I understand that. The thing I'm bad about is is it the right? What's the circle thing? Joystick? Is that right?
No, there's not a joystick on the Super Nintendo.
What is the thing that I move up and down and?
Well, the directional pad on the left, on the right you have buttons.
Okay.
Like A, B, X, Y.
No. The thing.
Oh, because we were using the that third-party wireless one, so it had joysticks. Is that right?
Am I using that vocabulary correctly?
I don't know.
Like on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making the motion. If you don't understand,
I'm just curious what you're talking about. Like explain to me what your problem was in that game.
Okay, so like, in order to make your airplane go up or down, you had to move it in the correct way, in the same way you would as like, I'm assuming a first-person shooter like Call of Duty or something, to look around, like right. The ocean one,
the Descent,
Sea of
Thieves.
Is that right?
Sea of Thieves. That
okay.
I used to play with Chris.
Cut all this out. So yeah, like in the Sea of Thieves thing, cut all the parts out that I sound dumb. Yes, but you remember like that game? I tried to play for a little bit, and I had a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
With
the first-person controls of navigating the camera with the joystick.
How do you make that sound so eloquent? And I'm over here stuttering.
So you had an issue with basically. So in that game, pressing up makes your ship go down. In the game on the Super Nintendo, pressing down makes your ship go up.
It was
which
hard.
is opposite of a first-person shooter that at least the way that you've played it without inverted controls is that up makes it go up and down makes it go down. It is difficult and it takes practice. It's hand-eye coordination, but also realizing, just imagining that you are holding the stick like if you were in a fighter jet and you pressed forward, in this case it would be up, it would make your character go down. I know that's kind of a it's a little bit of a reach basically.
That was the only thing I was getting frustrated with during the game.
Right, I could tell. Because you in that game, especially the first level that you played, your goal is to like get through rings and drop down low, and if you don't have any familiarity with that control scheme, it can be quite difficult. I'm so curious. I just really want you to play Star Fox 64 now, because it actually has a joystick. It has a control stick instead of a directional pad.
See, that might be really fun.
And it looks so much better too. It's basically a reimagining of that game. Like the first level's the same.
Well, I liked that game. I feel like if I was, stuck in a room for a long period of time with only that, like I could still have fun.
Would you master it?
Maybe.
Would you walk out of that room with Cheeto dust on your shirt?
Like Penny.
Unbathed for...
Not that level of obsession, but...
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I think I could become proficient in it.
There's hope for you yet. That is one of my favorite franchises, and through its ups and downs, I still have Star Fox 64. Actually, I have Star Fox 64, the remake on the 3DS. I'm going to let you play that. I'm going to see if you like it. If you could at least just see the difference. We'll talk about it next time.
Okay.
I'm excited about that. I really love that game. I played it over and over and over again. It was a birthday present for me. I remember I had my friend Josh over, and like we went outside and played or something. I was like 13. And then we came back inside, and my mom had placed the game in the box just in front of my TV, and not wrapped or anything, but I just remember like I was so excited.
That's so nice.
The first game to ever have Rumble. Like now that's just so standard, but anyways, it was really...
I liked your story about going to the mall and seeing that game.
What game?
Right? Isn't that
of Star Fox? Yeah. So I didn't have a Super Nintendo. I had a Sega Genesis, and we went to Sears pretty often. We went to the mall pretty often, even just to like get out of the house and walk around or whatever. I remember Mom had a Sears card, so that she'd get a lot of her like appliances and stuff from Sears, or clothing or whatever. So I'd always go to the video game section, and like Star Fox was always a game that they had there, and I got to play it, and my mind was blown. Being like a Sega Genesis gamer, I never played the Super Nintendo really that much at that time, and just seeing those 3D graphics, and I was like, whoa, like this is the future. Games cannot look better than this.
That was the comment that blew my mind when you told me that.
I've done that. Like, I remember Final Fantasy VII a few years later. Like, the computer, not even the part that you're playing, because when you're the person you're playing, you look like a deformed Lego. You're just running around.
Yes.
It's awful. But like the CG portion of it, like, you know, I mean, arguably looks worse than the real game. And I just remember just replaying it. I'd turn it off and restart it. Just be like, man, we've hit the pinnacle. We've maxed out.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not kidding. There's been several times. I remember reading like magazines like EGM magazine, and like we're on like Unreal Engine 4 now, and I remember Unreal Engine 2, and I was just like, this is, I mean, every few years I'd just be like, no, now we've definitely reached our potential.
This is it.
But now though, I really think we have.
No.
Yeah, no, I think
No.
well, here's the thing. Like, there's at a certain point, you know, what you saw was like, I don't know how many polygons are in an airplane in Star Fox, in the R-Wing in Star Fox, but
Probably
let's say
3.
let's say 3. Okay, if you take something that has 3 polygons, and then you take something that has 100 polygons, huge difference, right?
Absolutely.
Huge. You're going to notice that difference. Like, wow, look how much detail there is compared to that. Then you take something that has 100 polygons to 1,000 polygons. Wow. Right? Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay? Then you take... But once you get up to, like, this character model has 600,000 polygons or whatever, and then, like, the next step up is 750,000, you get, like, diminishing returns on it. And
For sure.
it only can be so much better that graphically, like, we're definitely maturing, and things have to be shown through increased like performance, more effects, like, you know, in like movies and stuff, you have these particle effects of like the lightsabers shooting off sparks. Like, that's the kind of stuff that's going to elevate the graphical scene in games moving forward, because just pure graphical fidelity and pure graphical like polygon count, we're definitely hit that level of diminishing returns. Like, yeah, it's gonna look better. Things like animation, you know, where nowadays, like Naughty Dog and stuff, they have the balls all over their faces, and like it's bringing that level of realism versus what you saw in Witcher 3, which I think you like so eloquently put it. Like, it looks like an action figure trying to walk around in the game world.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference, and that's what's going to elevate your experience, not just like how good that person's nose looks or whatever, you know, on the video game. My opinion.
Sense.
So that it's, you know, definitely seen a really cool evolution, but there's a lot of times where I just thought we really hit the ceiling of what's capable. You go back now and your eyes hurt because the blood is square. It's flying off of your character. So the third game,
Those trees only have one big leaf.
yeah, no kidding. Well, like, and the thing that they did was the trees would be like 2-dimensional, but you're running around a 3-dimensional scene, so no matter like which direction you looked at the tree from, it was the same image, and it would just like rotate.
It's like those creepy paintings.
Yeah, and it used to make me sick. I'm going to show you that too. That's hilarious. On Doom 64, it's pretty evident. But the next game that we played was Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. And you're a fan of Yoshi.
I love Yoshi.
Did you like that game?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you play more of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Graphically, it's good.
Yeah.
That game is a testament to graphical style. It's on the same exact hardware. But you take a game that you described as like blocky and clunky with Final Fantasy, which, you know, later on, obviously, things get better and cooler in that game. You know, you'll see someday. And then you have... I chose these 3 games because they're so wildly different. And then you have the 3-dimensional polygonal game where you're flying all around. And then you have Yoshi's Story, where it looks like a little kid drew it with the box of crayons, you know, and it's just like joyful, gleeful.
Yes.
So what did you like more about it or less about it than, like, say, Yoshi's Crafted World, which is the Yoshi game that you spent the most time in?
Yeah. I mean, out of those 3 games, it was definitely my favorite. So what did I enjoy about it? Like, there was some familiarity to it, like not feeling like a complete idiot because I don't know.
So you knew that
what
if
the
you
point
swallowed
is.
this person, it's going to turn into an egg, and you can use that egg for ammo.
Yeah,
It's like,
but I mean, there's like I could definitely see the evolution of the series though, because like at that point you could swallow the Shy Guy, but if you wanted to make an egg, you actually had to hit an extra button,
right.
which is not the way it is in Yoshi's Crafted World.
It just
so
happens automatically.
yes. But, like, in this game, you had the option of you could get him with the tongue and then, like, spit him back out if you wanted to.
Use him as a projectile or whatever.
Right. So, that was interesting. The physics are a little different, but I can really appreciate the fact that they use the exact same font. And the graphics are similar. You know, there's an evolution for sure, but there's a lot of familiarity, too. It was interesting having Baby Mario.
Right? Did you find it annoying, or is that a concept or like a mechanic you liked?
I don't know. I guess I'd have to play it more. Yeah, I'd have to play it more. I think I was getting frustrated because, like, if you do anything wrong, then Baby Mario falls off your back. And you have to retrieve Baby Mario within a certain amount of time, which is very stressful. So that was hard. I also had to, like, relearn the actions to buttons, which, you know, added to the stress of the whole thing. Because when you're trying to do something quickly, I have to remember what button I'm doing it with. And
right.
Yeah, so.
And shooting the egg, too, is different because you're holding it down and it's moving automatically in, like, an arc of, like, you know, 120 degrees or whatever. So it's not like you can just quickly determine where it goes. You have to wait a second.
Right.
You know, which definitely, like, I kind of like that because it is a little bit more of a challenge, I think. Because objects are moving and you have to, like, line it up, you know, just perfectly.
It's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
Also eats away at your time. You know, I think you have, like, I don't remember how many seconds, but 10 seconds or something in order to retrieve Baby Mario. And when you're waiting on that little icon to, like, just line up with him, like, that's... It came really good.
Too stressful? Like, that aspect of it? Because it's only going to get harder.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like I could get better at it if I put some time into it, but yes, it was stressful.
So the Yoshi games have always been like exploration of like a children's storybook. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the next one's literally called Yoshi's Story. You know, they always have that same similar font, similar, you know, graphical style, which, you know, I think is awesome. But yeah, that first one, which I haven't spent a whole lot of time playing Yoshi's Island, to tell you the truth, it's never really appealed to me. But watching you play it is definitely, like, that would bother me because it seems like such a chill game, but it's not as chill as its successors. Not at all. And then when the moment that you do something to mess up, you're punished by, like, frantically doing something. You get this, like, sense of anxiety, which some people like or whatever, but I feel like it's pick a lane. And I feel like they did that with the next series. They really, you know, the next game in the series and so on and so forth. They really kind of jumped into that. It's just more of a carefree kind of game because Yoshi's Story, there's no time limits. There's nothing, you know, you're just kind of exploring around.
There were some pretty tense moments in Crafted World.
Yeah.
For sure.
But that's like later on in the game. Like the whole game isn't built around that, you know. I feel like in Crafted World, they slowly built up your skill set.
Yeah, that's
you know?
fair.
And they do it in a way that's not really like, here's a tutorial every 10 seconds. So they threw things at you slowly and ramped up your ability to, like, take them on or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is like from the get-go. You get that
Level
baby
1.
crying, you know? It's like not only does you get like a negative like thing occurring where you gotta like scramble and try to figure this out and do it real quick, but then you also have that grating sound of Baby Mario. So that was definitely my least favorite of the three.
Yeah.
100%.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just not a big fan of that game. It's never really appealed to me. I don't know. I don't like being constrained with having like the arc where it's like, you know, ticking up and down, you know. There's just constraints in the game that I feel like it's put on you that I despise games where you have an NPC and
A what?
an NPC, like a non-playable character, like Baby Mario in that. It's not a character that you play, right?
Okay.
But they're called escort missions. I feel like that entire game is just an escort mission. Escort missions are my least favorite trope in video games, where you're loving this game, it's awesome. Now all of a sudden you have like a level or two where you have to babysit an NPC and make sure that they don't die. You know what I'm saying? It's, to me, it just slows down, it trudges down. And then Yoshi's Island, that's the whole thing, is an escort mission. I don't know. It's just not my speed. I'd rather run through as fast as I can, haphazardly as I can.
Like you did in that other Mario game.
Mario Brothers 1, yeah. Yep. Out of those three games, obviously Final Fantasy 3 is my number one. But I also have a lot of nostalgia for it, and I can understand how it'd be difficult for you to hop into something without nostalgia that looks, like it looks. But I will turn you into a Final Fantasy gamer.
Will you?
Yeah, we'll just start with the newest one. Work backwards. And then you'd be like, ooh, that's a summon from that one game. Cool.
A summon?
Yeah, you'll see. And another little bit of exciting news is I found a Final Fight arcade 1-up cabinet for $50. Thank you to Cool Toys, because he put that out on his I think his YouTube. I follow him on YouTube, and he said, your mileage may vary, but Walmart's doing $50 cabinets for clearance, and I was able to get one. It has Final Fight. It has 1944. It has Strider. It has Ghosts and Goblins, which are all amazing games from the early 90s, which I'm excited to play. We hooked it up. We got it all like built and everything. And that's what we're going to play next. You never really spent a lot of time in the arcades, did you?
Nope.
Okay. I lived in the arcades any chance that I could get. So, like, that's why it's...
Which is so interesting because of the times that I've beat you at arcade games.
I would hardly call those arcade games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're in an arcade, but they're not like classic arcade games like that I have all over this room here.
You're just really upset that you lost multiple times in a row.
To that one game. Was it more than one game?
I think so.
Yeah, probably. Speed of Light.
Speed of Light. And
at Austin's Park and Pizza.
Yeah, and I beat you a couple times at the basketball game.
Yeah. But see, I don't even see those. Those are like novelty games. Those aren't arcade games. Like, it's not a game that you can put a quarter in and you both play. Well, like, technically it is, but it's not. Giving me the eyes. Like, yeah, keep talking yourself into that corner. But you'll see the difference. These are all Capcom was like on fire in the 80s and 90s. They were like, Capcom was the people who make Resident Evil. They still make great games, but back then they were on fire. So I can't wait to play these games with you, because most of them are games that we can play together, like cooperatively. So yeah, I want to get your opinions on those. What do you think though? Just like looking at it, meh. What about compared to these other two, the Rampage and Asteroids cabinets?
I don't know much about those either.
Yeah, those aren't like that's 70s. That's gonna be late 80s, but like way more like rudimentary, and those are like more I guess it's the start of like kind of the current trend in gaming.
Gotcha. Like
with boss fights and yada yada yada. Yeah. And I'm still trying to figure out what our next cabinet's gonna be.
Our next cabinet?
Arcade cabinet.
You don't have any more room in this room.
Yeah. I don't know what I'll have to get rid of. Listen, if these $300 cabinets go on sale for $50 clearance, I'm picking it up. I mean...
Apparently, that's what happened this time.
Yep. Because every day I'll be hunting them games.
Hey, can we talk about that video that I sent you today about Animal Crossing?
Yeah, what video?
There was a video of a couple that was supposed to get
married.
I
didn't even watch the video. I just thought it was a screenshot.
What?
Yeah.
No, it was a whole video.
Oh.
It was their wedding ceremony in Animal Crossing.
Somebody got married in Animal Crossing?
Yes, and they invited all of their friends.
All 6 other friends?
Because, you can, like, have attendees from other islands come, and all their friends
Were they wearing,
play.
like, tuxes and stuff?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, the guy was in a tux, and the girl was in a wedding dress. And then afterward, they had a reception. They went and sat down at little tables, and they used the app to talk. And
I love it.
It showed a video of, like, the wedding thing, and, like, they simulated to where they had their first kiss as husband and wife, and then they did the joy reaction.
Yeah, with the hearts.
It's so cute. And then they guided everybody over to their little patio area. Everybody sat down, and then they were just like texting through the app basically. And it was, one person was like, so are y'all really going to do the real thing when everything clears up? And they're like, yeah, definitely. And it was a great video.
That's awesome. Okay, so I need to watch it. I'll probably put it the URL in the description so that people listening to this can watch it too. Because I didn't watch it. I literally thought it was a screenshot. I'm still getting used to the Instagram. Would you do that? Would you get married in the game?
Well, I thought it was kind of cute because we did just get married.
Yeah.
So,
Would you do that?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Because I think in Final Fantasy 14, I think you can actually get married, share a house and everything. All right.
I thought we were talking about Animal Crossing.
Well, you see, there's so many people playing Animal Crossing, like celebrities. And see that one where Elijah Wood went to like somebody's house, and I sent that to you, right?
Went
to somebody's island because they had a lot of bells, and then the dude from Queer Eye,
Bobby Burke.
Yeah.
He's
like giving.
I want to look into that. Yeah. I need help, Bobby.
Yeah, you just post on Twitter, and he's like, "I'll help you."
I started wondering if Joanna Gaines has the Animal Crossing.
Evidently, it's the hotness. If you want to be cool,
Pete
cool
Wentz
celebrity.
has his clothing line on there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's wild, wildly popular.
Yeah.
What a wild world.
It's interesting that so many like popular celebrities right now are very into this game.
Yeah.
I don't know any other game like that. I've never heard a video game referenced in the same way. There's nothing... When I happen to glance at E! News, there's nothing that I would see about a video game on there.
Yeah.
Unless it was like a video game to movie kind of thing.
Right.
But not like this.
No. It's definitely hit like the meta world, and it's into the zeitgeist of popular culture, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's wild. Anyway, I like it. I need to play more of it. I kind of want to play some tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like when I'm playing on the TV and you're playing on your Switch Lite and together, and we're just hanging out doing nothing but playing the game together, and All right, let's go do that. We'll go do that, and then we'll play some more games, and then we'll come back in a week or so, and we'll talk about those games we played. If you have any like random questions for us, if you have any games that you think that Steph would like or that we should play together, please comment them or let us know somehow.
I have a random question.
Ooh, okay.
What's your favorite food?
Tacos.
Yeah.
Easy. What's your favorite food?
Nachos.
Oh, okay. So we each brought our favorite food. We'd have like a really cool Mexican meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fiesta.
Queso.
Obviously.
My mouth is watering. I'm not even hungry, but my mouth is watering now. Torchy's queso.
We're really missing Torchy's.
I know. It's close. Hey, it might open up the first, though. Maybe. I hope. Okay, we're going to go play games. We'll be back. And happy hunting, everybody. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.